Hello and welcome to WePC. My name's Jack and this is my COD Vanguard benchmark. As you can see, we're pretty much playing on the max settings we can. I've chosen to play at 1440p here as COD is a decently optimised game these days and I wanted to see how far we could push some of the lower end cards we have. I've tested a few cards both from AMD and Nvidia and I'm going to show you the results of them here. So first up, we have about a minute of gameplay per card, and this is the RTX 3090. We're hovering nicely around 160-170 FPS in most cases. Even when things get chaotic, it still manages to maintain that lovely average, which is extremely playable, and you would expect this from a card that costs as much as a car. The RTX 3080 Ti is up next, and you can see it's a very similar story. We still get around 150 FPS average. I'd have loved to use our RiverTuner custom overlay, but because of anti-cheat we can't do this. The way RiverTuner hooks into the game is through DLL hooking scripts, and the game has blocked those because that's the exact way that cheats hook into the game. Thank you, please fix that.
Report. Double kill. I'm pinned here. I've got your bloody oath. Grenade. I'm pinned down. Double kill.
3080 now. And we get a nice hover around 120-130 FPS in most cases. This is similar, we are on a downwards trend because I did choose the highest power card first, but still very playable frame rates. There's very little stuttering in every card I've tested. COD is pretty well optimised, so although we don't have the 0.1% and 1% lows, I can tell you that they'd be pretty high FPS themselves as well, just based on my experience playing the game.
Ready for report.
Here is the 3060 Ti, and we get a nice comfortable around 100 FPS average. A decent kind of mid-high graphics card, we do get very playable frame rates. And remember, this is in 1440p, so if you're stuck on 1080p, the FPS will be much more than this example.
I'm pinned down. I'm pinned down.
2080 Super now. We're getting into the older kind of cards, and you can see it's a very similar case to the 3060 Ti. Around 90-100 FPS average is pretty good for me.
Hostile recon in the air. Spies in the sky. Enemy care package inbound.
2070 Super, getting even older. Although we can't test it as of now on a single map in a controlled environment, the FPS does vary a little bit, but this does serve as a good idea on how well your game is going to perform. This is only the beta, and FPS and performance will be subject to change when the official game rolls out, but 2070 Super, very playable frame rates.
Throwing grenade. We took the advantage. Fuck, I'm pinned.
1660 Ti now, very much a budget oriented card, and you can see we're pretty much getting a nice 60 FPS average, 60 to 50. Very playable, anything over 60 is good, you tend to want to aim for 60, but again, if you're playing on a 1080p monitor, you're going to get plenty of FPS, even out of a 1660 Ti.
Thought I forgot about you. Throwing grenade.
6900 XT next, the AMD equivalent 3090 competitor. We get a nice jump from about 190 to 210 on average. These are extremely playable frame rates and exactly what you'd expect from a card of this price point. $6800 XT now, and you can see we've dropped quite significantly from the 6900. 150 FPS average is about what you'd expect here.
Tossing grenade. I'm being watched.
Intelligence coming in.
Watch yourself. Tossing grenade. Tossing stun grenade. Head spinning. Incoming grenade.
Deployed.
Grenade. How you doing? Feel better now.
On the 6600 XT front, very much marketed as a 1080p card, we do see that it gets almost 100 FPS average here in 1440p. Now this is either a testament to how much AMD underestimated their 6600 XT, or to how well optimized COD is. I'm going to say it's a mix of both, because the 6600 XT has managed to exceed my expectations in the past. So again, a very good card, and very playable FPS.
Circle of life, dickhead. Tossing grenade. The lead's ours.
5700 XT now, getting a little bit older into last gen. As you can see, we get about 100 FPS average in pretty chaotic scenes as well. These are very playable. 5700 XTs don't usually go for that much on the market, well, after GPU apocalypse of course. Very playable indeed.
Enemy popping smoke. We have been hit down, comrades. Grenade. Kill always revitalizes me.
The RX 580, I threw in a bit of a wild card here and see just how low we can push this, and 580 is about the lower limit. We do get a 52, 59 FPS average. Yeah, it's pretty up and down, but this is playable. If you drop this down to 1080p, I'd expect you to get well over 60 FPS. So bear that in mind, that these are 1440p benchmarks, and 1080p is going to be much better performance. Well, that's about it guys. Remember to like and comment on the video and subscribe if you want to see an optimization guide for COD Vanguard. We will be bringing one out when the game releases, as well as a full in-depth benchmark, not just on the beta. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Jack from WePC Benchmarks, and I'll see you in the next one.